What is going on, YouTube? I had some thoughts about owning multiple cars, and I thought I'd make a video about it. And the reason I'm making this video is I've had found a lot of joy in car ownership. It's my hobby, and it's a good hobby if you don't let the money get away from you. And what I mean by that is if you control your spending on your cars. So for me, owning multiple cars has been something that this one's not mine, it's my son's. It's been something that's brought me a lot of joy, and it's a good, healthy habit if you keep it under control. So, yeah, I thought this might encourage some folks. So I'm going to just talk about, a few things I've learned over the years of owning multiple cars and share them with you. And so my three primary cars, we have another car that's usually here, but it's gone right now. My wife's out. So I own a Fiesta. You've probably seen all these if you've watched my channel videos ever. A 015 Fiesta, 01 Honda Insight, and my Prelude over here is covered up, 01 Prelude. And so the first thing that's like important to say is, well, two thoughts, and then I'm going to share just like some like pluses and minuses of owning multiple cars. So the first thought is, when you see someone with a bunch of cars, it's like easy to think, oh, that person's got a ton of money. But the reality is, this car's book value is like $12,000. That book value is like $1,500, and my Prelude around the corner, the book value on that is like $1,500, $2,000. If I sold all of these on the open market today, I might get the market value for all three cars combined might be $20,000, maybe. That's just a reality of like, a lot of folks are, look around my neighborhood. I live in a pretty middle income, upper middle place. Average American salary is where I'm at. So, most people own a car that's worth more than $20,000. So I own three cars combined that are maybe worth $20,000. So that's just something to think about. If you think, well, how can I spend the money and afford, multiple cars? And you see a lot of people on YouTube that have money and own multiple cars, but then you have a lot of average Joes like me who own multiple cars. And my point is, it's attainable. It's attainable to financially. If you're going to buy one car for $20,000, you get three cars for $20,000. Get five cars for $20,000. If you're someone that has a $50,000 car, then how many cars could you afford then? So, and then the other thought about that is, again, is it wasteful to own multiple cars? I really don't think so, because this Insight right here is worth $3,000 or $4,000, maybe $5,000 if I found a crazy person that wanted to buy it. So I could have that $4,000 or $5,000 in my bank, or I could have it in my driveway and enjoy it. When it's in my bank, yes, it might be appreciating a little bit. But when it's in my driveway, if you get the right car, it might be appreciating a little bit. So, it's sort of like, you got the money in the bank or you've got it in your driveway. And when it's in your driveway, you can enjoy it. This Prelude, I could probably get $3,500 for, maybe on a good day. Maybe a little more if I found a fanatic. And so that's $3,500 that's in my bank, or $3,500 in my driveway that I can drive once or twice a week and enjoy. So that's just kind of like some introduction thoughts. But just let me talk about a few negatives and positives. I made a list here, so I'm going to refer to this. So like the first negative is the cost of purchasing. And I kind of already talked about that. Like you might say, well, I want to get a beater. I just bought this Insight and I've put a few thousand into it, restoring it. Maybe you saw my videos. So, that took a few $1,000s. So you got a few thousand here, you got a few thousand there. But again, if you're already buying a car for $20,000, $30,000, it's kind of covered. Next negative is maintenance, and I showed this here. This is my yes, I am a Type A personality. So the maintenance, here's the deal. You see a lot of folks with just multiple cars in their driveway or in their yard or in their backyard, with weeds growing up, cobwebs. And the bottom line is, if you get multiple cars, I've got three cars, plus my wife's car, plus my son's car. So I've got 3 cars, and that means I got to keep oil changed on 3. I got to buy tires for 3. I've got to think about rotating those tires for 3, plugs, air filters, tranny fluid. These are just the basic things too. This doesn't include big maintenance. So that is a negative. Like, you're constantly maintaining, and if you don't maintain all those cars, you know what happens. And I love me the Boosted boys, but they've got like one of their cars running at a time out of 10 cars. So, and that's fine. That's their thing, and they don't care. But if you want to have multiple cars and actually have them working, you do have to maintain all of them at once, and that can become a burden. And that's again why I have this chalkboard that I created for my sanity, that just reminds me of how much oil they take, and when I did the oil and filter change for each car. And I even put the socket sizes on there. And I tend to just keep filters and stuff in stock, and oil as well. So, you spend a little money on the front end, and it's really not that hard. Then another negative is insurance. You might think, well, how do you afford all this? And the reality is it's not really that much. My Fiesta has full coverage. It's $57 a month. That's about normal for a full coverage vehicle, or at least a subcompact. But really, the Insight and Prelude, I've had a lot of folks say, how do you keep insurance on all these cars? And the reality is, the Insight is $1 a day and the Prelude's $1 a day. So $63 a day is what it added to my policy. I'm sorry, $63 a month to own these cars. And for me, $63 a month is a very small price to pay. That's like the price of cable. So I don't have cable because I don't care about cable. But my point is, like, it's not a lot of money in the big scheme of things. $63 a month to extra to insure a couple old cars. So again, that is a negative, but it's not one that hits you that hard. I'll just zoom in on that in case anyone's kind of taking notes. I'm in my 40s and I have a good driving record, so your numbers might be higher than that. By the way, the other thing is, the more cars you insure, the more discounts you get. So when I added the Insight to my policy, it did bring it up to $29 a month, but it actually lowered the policy on some of my other cars. So my net gain was only $15 a month. So in reality, when I added the Insight 4 weeks ago, when I bought this car, my policy went up $15 a month. So in reality, although my policy says that the Insight costs $29 a month to insure, it was 50 cents a day is what it added because of the discounts. Hopefully that makes sense. Other negative is just juggling in space. If I want to drive the Prelude today, you may have more space than me, but I don't. So if I want to drive it today, I've got to juggle some things around here. And the other thing which I didn't actually mention was, if you got cars outside, then you might need car covers if you want to keep them in good shape. I have several car covers, and I've gotten to where I can take them on and off in about a minute or two. So positives real quick. Benefits. Well, the first thing is just fun. I love having, I've got my Fiesta, which is my really fast car. It's modified. Check out my video. And then I got my Prelude, which is like my classic Rev it to 8,000 old Honda. It's got that Honda smell. Just an old Honda. And it's fun. It's comfortable, real comfortable. And then now I added the Insight, which is just my unique, weird tinker car. It's the toy car, and really, really enjoying this car. So it's just the fun of having different personalities. Today I want to drive this, tomorrow I want to drive that. Benefit two would be convenience. This is really cool. So like if you want to loan someone a car, or if let's say I've got the Fiesta up on jack stands and I'm doing some kind of major service to the engine, or whatever, and I don't finish it that day, well, I don't have to worry about it because it can sit there as long as I want, because I can take another vehicle if they're running well. Third benefit is just investment. And the investment is, again, like this car, none of my cars are really investment cars, but I might turn a little profit when I sell this one day, and I might turn a little profit when I sell the Prelude one day. So, if you get the right car, you won't lose money. Like, I fully intend to I'm probably going to get everything out of this that I've put into it, and maybe more. So it really costs me nothing other than insurance. Same with the Prelude. You know, both of those cars were $2,000 cars for me. So I put some work into them, and when I sell them, you know, I probably will make a little money. So that's a benefit. You know, you get a DeLorean, and those numbers are exponentially higher. And then final thing is just less gas, tires, oil. If you keep it all up like I do, like I only fill up one gas tank a month between these three cars. Now that I have that, it's probably going to be less frequent than that. And that's just because, like, if you get all the tires, you get 12 tires for three cars, then you're driving those tires and you're rotating them, but you don't need to buy tires as often once you've done the initial investment. Same with oil, same with gas, same with everything. So I keep all these maintained well, and then I hardly ever have to do maintenance because I would only have to drive or maintain this a third of the time because I'm driving the other two cars. So it's all the same long term, but if you up front do the work, then you find yourself like rotating tires way less, changing oil way less, because you've got three cars that are, you know, taken care of and maintained. Final thought on this I would just share would be that, again, I said this earlier, but if you're thinking about doing this, you know, and convincing your wife, spouse, you know, why it's okay for you to have three cars or for four cars or two cars that you own. You know, a big important thing is just upkeep. I would just say, like, I got buddies who have like 5 or 6 cars, and like 4 of them don't run and have not run for months or years. So if you get into this, you just gotta, like, don't let it get away from you. There's a guy right down the road from me who's got 6 cars in his driveway, and 2 of them don't run, 1 of them barely runs, and they just sit there, and they've been sitting there for years. So it's sort of like, you know, that would not be fun to me, but multiple car ownership. Hopefully this has been encouraging, so maybe you'll get more than one car now and be inspired. It's a lot of fun. It's a good, healthy, hot habit, and hope you've enjoyed the video. God bless you. Peace.